Oh hey, what do you do if you have an old janky bench and you need to recover it, but you hate sewing? You figure it out with me. ASMR. Okay. Welcome to my channel, Laugh Cry DIY, which today I would like to retitle Lazy Girl DIY because I have this old bench. I got it off of Facebook Marketplace years ago. It was the perfect size for what I needed, but it was definitely damaged. You can see all this cracking along the top of it. And although it is nice and wide side to side, you will notice that it is open on the bottom. And I am doing a room makeover and I need to be able to store things underneath that bench. And so I need to make a slipcover to cover it. And I have a very specific vision with very specific needs, which I will show you now. Hold please. Okay, so here's the situation. I want to totally cover this bench with a slipcover, but I want that slipcover to be able to be openable and closable without it looking too obvious. So here's my idea. We're gonna make a slipcover that has little slits on the side so that that whole front panel can open up and close and no one will really notice it if they're looking at it from the front. Great. So before I start, I will say that I had actually already previously upholstered this. I had a simple little Dalmatian print, but I decided to rip that off so that we could start over from the beginning, start fresh. So we are going from simple Dalmatian to very sexy tiger. Now, I know that on screen, this looks crazy, and that's because it is, but trust the process. Now, here's the challenge in doing that. Even though that slipcover design is very simple, very easy, we are working with these tiger flames. And so we wanna make sure that they stay nice and straight and none of our lines twist so that the slipcover looks crooked like that. Additionally, because I hate sewing, I want to make this construction and this design as simple as possible to eliminate as much sewing as possible, but to also preserve the pattern as much as possible so that there's not a lot of disruption. Can we do it? Let's find out. Okay, so like I said, I want to do this as simply as possible with as few cuts and stitching required. So to start, we are going to cut a simple sheet that is gonna go like all the way over it. Do you see? Just like that, simple. And also I know on camera, this looks kind of like a skeezy uncle's upholstery, but I promise you it's gonna look cool in the room. Okay, so let's measure and cut. Don't slip. Best part. All right, guys, moment of truth. Are we nice and wide enough? In the right orientation? Yes, I think we're good, okay. Whew. Okay, next up, if I can show you. So I need to cut the panels to go on the side, and again, with that slit in the middle so it can be open. Originally, I thought I would do that slit right down the middle, but now I'm thinking of actually bringing it over quite a bit to the side so that it has a lot more of a smooth panel as opposed to that slit right down the middle. Okay, I'm gonna redo my math and we're gonna cut those side square panels. Okay, so I have a side panel and I made sure to make sure that the flame orientation was the same all around so that you didn't have some that were sideways and some that were horizontal. And now last thing is, I think I'm going to just overlap them 3/4 with 1/4. So I will measure and cut those so that those are correct. Does that make sense? All right, y'all, we have all of our pieces cut. I did remeasure, double check, but everything's looking good. So what I'm gonna do first is I'm going to do the little side panels together, then we will stitch the whole thing on. And I'm not gonna lie, guys, today I'm going to use a mix of thread and needle and hot glue gun because I don't trust myself. And so I don't wanna do permanent seams everywhere yet. I wanna be able to kind of like loosely fit it and I don't have basting tape. So first I'm putting a towel down to avoid burning my table and I'm using my travel steamer to make these little seam creases. And then I'm going in with my hot glue gun just to do a few small seams. Now, one important thing to note is that I'm going to try to pattern match as best as I can on these overlapped parts so that it's not totally off and weird, but we'll see how well we're able to actually do that. Okay, so as I mentioned before, I want to make sure that the seams and the flames match up as well as they can. And I want to make sure that they match up to each other as well as the panel that they are going to be stitched to. And so I'm going to do a little bit of fooling around to see which panel should be on the right, which one should be on the left, if they need to be upside down, just to try to make that pattern match as seamless as possible. Okay, actually I'm a little bit confused now, so I'm gonna play around with it and come back. Okay, the funny thing is I actually ended up patchworking some different panels together because they worked better. So we have our left panel here, which goes pretty smoothly into the main panel, and then which goes pretty smoothly into the right panel. So we're kind of camouflaging the tiger. Also, I didn't mention it, but I did wash this fabric before to make sure that it had already pre-shrunk, and I did intend to get a washable fabric so that I could, in fact, wash the slipcover. Now, because I want a very clean, neat overlap on these side panels that does actually split, I'm gonna stitch these together first, just so that we see there's a really nice overhang and that they look like they make sense. Time lapse. Do we overlay and do we split? Yes, we do. All right, now we gotta pin it all together in the right place at the right spot. Wait, this way. Okay, so it is loosely pinned, but I wanted to make sure that my construction did make sense. And so as you can see, we have spillover and then we have this split panel on the side and those do overlap nicely. So I think I do feel confident enough to start sewing this together. All right guys, moment of truth. Does this fit the way I thought it would? 1, 2. All right, I think we're getting there. However, we still have one more thing to do because we want to make this groovy, sexy, glamorous. We need to add bullion fringe. Ooh! This is very thick corded fringe. It's very glamorous. It's quite heavy. And one benefit of this is that slipcovers can be a little like wonky because they can be a little loosey-goosey, but the weight of this fringe helps really like weight it down. So that's kind of nice. So it won't just be like, I don't know, rippling in the wind or whatever. However, I'm gonna be honest and vulnerable here. I did not design this with the bottom perfectly flush because one, I wanted to just focus on making sure the flames were perfectly horizontal. And because of the upholstery and corners and stuff, I just wasn't totally sure where and how it was actually gonna hang. So I did not want to sew the fringe to this because honestly, the truth is I decided I would just kind of visually add it because I wanted to really ensure that the trim on the bottom was truly flush. It was gonna drive me crazy if it was like 2 inches too short or totally uneven. We really wanna make sure that we're hiding and disguising. So I'm just gonna go ahead and pin this on all around and just make sure that it looks visually even. Oh, and for the record, our little side flap totally worked, yay. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start the fringe on this panel so that it goes all the way around, and then we'll do a little other fringe on the back panel. Also, FYI with bullion fringe, you wanna look, this is the back, it has a lot of like stitching on it. This is the front, it's a little cleaner. So just make sure you're working with the right side front. And once the fringe is pinned on, I'm going to hem these up, but we just gotta let what is be what is for now as it is. And we are to our little end here. I am going to snip this, and then we are going to put some painter's tape on that so that it doesn't all come unraveled. And I'm gonna put that on the extra side too. Make no mistake, I am freestyling this. And now it is hot glue time, and I am just going to go very slowly, very carefully, try to maintain that line. We can pop it off if it doesn't work, and we're just gonna take our little sweet time and keep it straight, I hope, as we go. Okay, not bad. However, as you can see here, the fringe is looking pretty messy because it's kind of bent and twisted in all sorts of weird ways. So to fix that, I am just going to get my little steamer here and just straighten and smooth steam them out. And you can see how that helps them stay straight. All right, now one thing to note about bullion fringe is that if you straighten it and it just doesn't feel full enough, you can totally do a second layer of it. I considered doing that, but honestly, this is so thick, it's going to be a little bit too overpowering, and I think it covers what I need it to cover. So I'm gonna finish up the back, tweak whatever I need to. I'm not gonna lie, it's not perfect, but it is livable, and that's all I wanted. So I think we can go ahead and skip ahead to your grand reveal. All right, y'all, the real test. Is it kitty approved? Thoughts? I'm gonna take that as a yes. All right, guys, thank you for coming on this highly improvised journey. I'm excited to show you where this actually ends up. So stay tuned for that. If you guys like lazy girl DIYs, fun decor inspiration, you can sign up for my newsletter linked below. I send out a monthly roundup of cute little fun ideas, tips, things like that. It's just a little hit of joy in your inbox, so if you want more joy, check it out. And until next time, I gotta decide what else is gonna go in this space. All right, see ya, bye.